This is Malachi, Church versus State. I had a individual ask me in regards to, he's a millennial, self-proclaimed millennial. That's right. Now that means he's 17, maybe a little older, I don't know. Wanted to know the aspects of how technology has changed the dating scene from the 80s and 90s. I don't know. I think it's kind of screwed it up, man. You know, to be honest with you, even though it was screwed up then, it's always screwed up when you're young. Just cut to the chase. It's all about image when you're young, because as a man, when you get older and more established, and men get better looking as they get older anyways. So that's a plus for all you young, ugly men out there. Your time will come. So just go out and make a shitload of money and do what you want to do, and at some point in time in your 40s and 50s, you'll freaking, be kick-ass, and they'll go, well, where did you come from? Well, and hopefully by then you have some smarts in you to weed out the bad ones. But I think technology today has really, made it so easy just to discard people, and it's so fake because all pictures are posed and shopped, and they've got apps to give you a six-pack, I guess, for I manage this female artist, and you can look her up. Look her up. She's beautiful. She's very smart. She's very beautiful. Veronica Vitale. I'll try to put a link underneath here, but take the time to look, because she's a looker, I'm telling you. And so anyways, she took a picture. She has a picture of herself, and I have the original photo, and she kind of chiseled out her abs or whatever, and I'm thinking, why the hell are you doing that for? That's so freaking stupid. Well, I don't think she's doing it now, so that's good. I had a little talk with her, so I think I've kind of steered her in the right direction of just being who she is. But that's the problem today. I mean, everybody has a fake persona. Everything's edited. Everything's polished. Everything's photoshopped, cropped. It's so fake. And because it's so fake, people have a phobia of actually going out and meeting people, because once they meet somebody, then who they really are has to come out. They can't hide behind an emoji anymore. And so I think it's actually hurt society. But water seeks its own level always, so never forget that. And you can get some people, or if you're a man trying to pick up a chick, I guess you can get some of them with a little bit of humor. They always like that. And to be honest with you guys, the best looking women are the easiest ones to really, I don't want to say get, because I'm still a very respectful, I'm kind of an old school type guy. I do have respect for women, but at the same time, I got my own life to live. But the better looking they are, the more they usually have security issues. So never be afraid to ask the best looking woman in the school out. But that's another thing too. You have to ask them out. It's like a good salesman. You have to ask for the sale. I've always been the guy that most men that I know, when they come up to me, they go, how did you get her? Because, I'm not the greatest looking guy on the face of the earth. I just say, well, because I ask her, and I'm confident, and I'm a good businessman, and there's some things that are incentive to women. They can sniff it out, kind of like a dog being able to sniff out cancer. Well, some of them can sniff out money, or the ability to make it and be able to provide for a family and things of that nature. So, but I guess getting back to his question, in the 80s, we didn't have all this technology crap, so we actually had to have a conversation with somebody. we had to meet people either in school, churches, or you know, if you lived in the South, you'd go to a family reunion, I guess. But you had to have an aspect of communication. You had to build up those skills of conversation, which I think are a lot of the reasons why society is getting in the position it's getting into. Because there's no form of communication, therefore there's no loyalty, therefore there's no sense of urgency, therefore there's a lot of things happen because of lack of communication. But I think for me, you know, I was 15, I was a drummer. I was the drummer at high school, so everybody knew me. I guess I knew everybody. When I went to my 10-year reunion, you know, the big, you know, supposedly popular kids, they all knew who I was, so I guess I was known. But dating for me was, you know, I'd meet chicks at school, or I'd go to the mall. They did the mall thing back then. I think they're all being torn down now, but the mall was there. I met a first kind of serious relationship with a woman at a mall. Of course, that would be frowned upon, very much so these days, because I was 16 and she was 21. And and I can tell you this, man, I'm not telling you to do this because it would be wrong for me to say to date an older woman. But when word does get around that you are dating older women, you find it much easier to date other women that are your age, but they're only interested in certain things. So thinking you're going to get a long term from them is not going to happen. So moving into the 90's, notice how I brushed all that stuff off real quickly. I don't want my kid to watch this video. He kind of knows a little bit about it, but I kind of keep it low key on how I was at his age. Of course, I also had businesses. I had a window washing company, and then by the time I was 18, I had a ship repair company. I was working in the shipyards. By the time I was 19, I had my first house, and I was a landlord and all this kind of crap. So I'm like an early bloomer. I was doing things before anybody else was. You know, and I've got websites. I can tell you my website. You can read all about my business adventures and crap like that and what I do for a living. But so in the 90's, there were ads in newspaper if you weren't a person to go to the bar, and if you're still 21 and single, or 20 and you couldn't go to the bar. By the time I was 21, I was actually playing music, so you know, music was kind of the thing. I mean, in reality, that's why a lot of musicians get into it, to meet girls. My thing was, I didn't have a problem meeting girls, but I enjoyed playing music, so it was kind of a plus for me. But back then it was, you know, if it wasn't in bars, it wasn't in school, it wasn't in churches, it was your friends would hook you up with somebody, and that was and I have a friend that he's the one that hooked me up with my last ex, because I've been married a couple times, the one that took everything away from me, and the one that gave me my daughter now that I'm here picking her up, even though, and I enjoy it and I'll do it, but it kind of cuts in on what I do during the day. But it's going to stop here real soon. But you know, it was a friend of mine who introduced me to this person, and she was from Russia, kind of a Russian model. She's very, very attractive, very beautiful, actually. It's just maybe I'll post a picture. I don't know. But and she still is, and that's always been her vice to get what she wants. But very devastating as far as my life, because everything that I'm telling you that I built up for. I didn't meet her until I was in my 30s. Well, 30, I think. Yeah, 30. So there was a stretch there for a long time where I was just dating. I dated a rock star chick for a while, and all this stuff. But for me, to be honest with you, I guess to really, if I can give you any advice, it's what this whole thing is about. Men going their own way. Just do your freaking own thing. Be your own man. Don't worry about trying to find a woman, because you know what? I've met women in a grocery store checkout lane. The thing is that when you do meet somebody, have the ability to have a conversation and close the deal. Meaning, you meet somebody at a checkout stand, she says something, you say something, blah, blah, blah. You say, hey, let's go out and get some coffee. Here's my number. Boom. Or get her number, that kind of thing. You can match up phones these days. And just do it. And stop waiting around, and stop, if you like guys that like some chick at a store and they keep coming back and buy little candies and all this crap, You're wasting your time. You only have certain, it's like business. You only have one time to make that right impression. You don't have a bunch of, there's no room for a bunch of mistakes. You either got to get shit or get off the pot. And, but here's the thing, man. Just don't get caught up with that. Do your own thing. Make your own life. Build your own company. Do whatever it is that you want to do. If you want to have kids, and so you want to find somebody to pop out kids with, be careful, be selective, and my advice to men is to meet their fathers. You can meet their mothers and see what they will become, usually more physically. But meet their fathers, because if these are women that really get along really good with their dad, and their dads are decent people, you're probably going to have a better chance with them. My father-in-law, my last ex-wife, me and him were exactly like. Of course, now he's a billionaire, and I lost all my millions to his daughter. But however, I was never really told that they never really had a relationship. She had this relationship in her mind, and in reality they never did, because her mother divorced her father at such a young age. He was never an influence on her. So find women who have really good connections with their dads, and hopefully, if they were divorced, with like what I'm trying to do with my daughter, who's 8 years old, I do everything I can, and I'm around, and I'm there. So you do that, you'll be okay. You get the women that were also raised in a divorced family around a mother that hates all men, you're going to have some issues. There's no guarantee, but that's usually the case. Another thing too is, you got to communicate. So whoever you're dating, you're ever meeting, you got to get past the just fucking to fuck and actually get to know who that person is, and that probably be more to your benefit. Anyways, Malachi Church for State, signing out. Kind of a long-winded one here. And yeah, hug your kids, call your parents, go see a neighbor, repent and be baptized. Talk at you later. Bye.